Brad Williams, Excel Prime. We're going to test scores. Use test scores to grade student tests using a couple different techniques. There's a right way and a wrong way. We have students, we have grades, we have a test template, if you will. We have a correct, incorrect score. We're going to use a rather simple approach. We're just going to use sum, C7, G7 key. Control-Shift-Enter for older versions of Excel. Test score 944, C4 to G4 is our name range. Our anatomy, as I just pointed out, and our write-up. I'm going to go through. You can use a simple list formula to score a quiz and count the number of correct and incorrect responses based on the answer key. Here's our answer key. Here's how it works. Sum. Notice in the older versions of Excel, we still have those curly brackets. We have an array. You're going to have to package this thing in that Control-Shift-Enter in order for this to work. Newer versions of Excel, that stuff online, that 365 stuff, or what I'm using, 2021, Excel 2021, which I encourage you to incorporate. Upgrade. It cost me $5 to upgrade. Use it. Otherwise, you're going to fall so far behind with these newer tools that catching up is just going to be a challenge. It's going to be a hitch in your giddy up, if you will. Here we have the sum. We're going to use double unary or double negatives. C7, G7 greater than test score. Why the double negative? Isn't this ABC and BCC? Looks like a lot of text to me. We're going to need to convert that over into something Excel can read, and that is zeros and ones. The unary will take care of that. We have that name range again, C4, G4, test scores. This is a list formula in Excel 365, 2025. I just mentioned this, older versions, etc., Control-Shift-Enter. Talking points, this formula only makes use of the name range test score 944 for convenience. In the absence of name range, you could just pull all this stuff together and put it into a range. We have that name range, which helps out. Why? It reduces errors. And two, it automatically puts the data, if we were copying down and up or down, left or right, we would have that absolute reference, mixed reference, and well, you don't have to deal with that with these name ranges. This formula appears in cell I7 right here. Sum, etc. And I just talked about this. We evaluate this expression as C7, G7 equals test score 944 equals compare answers to test score 944. The output is a list of true and false values as follows, and we'll get into this in a second. True values represent a correct response, while false values designate an incorrect response. We use a double negative to convert the true and false values to numbers. Negative, true, true, true is going to turn this into 1100 equals sum correct. What does sum do? The obvious. And add the ones. Wrong. Here's how J7 counts the wrong answers in almost the same way. C7, G7, not test score 944 with the double negatives. The only difference is we now use the math operator not equal to. Sum, and we're going to see this output and 1, correct? The following formula is used to calculate the percentage of correct answers. What we're going to do is take this 4 divided by 5. That's the easy way to do it. They may have a different method, and they're using count A. You can use count A, but the intuition is 5. The less of a hassle, the fewer mistakes. Here we have number, F9, and we're going to get that 1110. Do I need to dig a little deeper in here? C7, G7. It's just going to give us BCCA. It's going to give us this stuff. And our test scores, that's FM9. F9. Going to give us nada. Let's go in here. Test score 944 up 9. That is our template. That's our scorecard. BCAAD. That's our test scores against this name range. C7, G7. Up 9. We have BCAAC. That's why we have 4 correct and 1 wrong. The anatomy, look it over if you need to. Read it if you need it. Brad Williams XL Prime, off to the races.